Hello, I'm Jaecen, and no, God, I don't want to be late! See, I'm going to the Golden Star. I was nominated for the Person Who Wears the Most Drawn Watches award. See, I'm happy my excellence is being recognized because I haven't showered in 5 goddamn years for this thing, but I'm up against some pretty steep competition though. I really wonder how they're doing right now.
Yeah, my dick so crack on the corner of the street, cause I'm hard. My dick got tats on the corner of its meat, cause it's hard. Yeah.
Award shows, taking some of the best pieces of media that the world of entertainment has to offer, and presenting them all in an overly garish and bougie fashion. Seeing all your favorite albums, movies, games, and books get the appreciation that you wanted to get can feel quite satisfying. And when they don't win, or something else worse happens to win, you just want to see the world burn. The culmination of these entertainment mediums, all in one place, nominated for their excellence, can open a whole can of worms for you to check these things out if you haven't already. At the same time, it's a 3-hour long commercial block that bores you out of your mind, and 90% of the time you're like, why did I even go? I never liked these things. They are some of the biggest wastes of time I've ever experienced, and my dumbass always comes back to them like a spouse with Stockholm Syndrome. I'm not a fan of award shows. I think they're a huge waste of time. Controversial opinion, I know. I'm primarily going to be talking about music and games, as that's what I know the best. But all art is subjective, and seeing people declaring that these pieces of media are the definitive ones, the top of the food chain, the one that represents everything in the year, it's kinda bogus. Let's take the Grammys for example. The Grammys probably have the highest amount of skeletons in their closet. The biggest example was definitely in 2014, where Kendrick Lamar just couldn't catch a break, man. Not only did he lose Album of the Year to Daft Punk's Random Access Memories, which is an album that deserves it by the way, but the dude lost Best New Artist to Macklemore. Seriously, who the hell's excited about a Macklemore project nowadays? He hasn't released anything in 4 years, anything listenable in 8, and he was overshadowed by a better Mac anyway. And that Mac really relied on his perspective as a normal-ass white guy to make good music. A sonically better and artistically superior album about the dangers of being young and Compton lost to a white guy singing from his perspective about clothes that smell like piss. Even Macklemore was ashamed about it, apologizing to Kendrick after getting the reward. A more recent example of a snub is The Weeknd in 2021. The dude objectively had the biggest album of the year. You couldn't walk 2 steps without hearing Blinding Lights or Heartless coming from behind you, seriously. And yet there wasn't a single nomination for After Hours. The Weeknd was pretty confused about it, and as he should. His team and the Grammys agreed for him to play both there and the Super Bowl, but yet the Grammys swept the rug from underneath him. That means he definitely had nominations before this whole negotiation. It's like someone at the Recording Academy saw The Weeknd's budget for his performance and went, oops! Onto video games, the Game Awards is like that TV channel late at night where all the random commercials play. Seriously, not only do they have a mundane award show, but they show off a massive quantity of games that are gonna be in the bargain bin a year later. And whoever's gonna win is so predictable too. That's another problem with award shows in general. You see one thing carrying all the nominations, well gee, who else do you think is gonna win? God? And why do they even bother playing non-video game music at the Game Awards? I'm sure it's a big moment for these artists to have a platform to perform their songs on, but most people do not care. Why is Green Day here? You'd think they would perform video game music at, I don't know, a place called the Game Awards? And to be fair, they do. In fact, they perform more songs from games than punk bands with waning relevancy. The performance of Last Surprise in the 2020 Game Awards was fantastic, and the medleys they do at the end of each show right before the Game of the Year is declared are awesome. But Jesus, do I really need to hear Ray Schremer go on for the slowest 4 minutes of my life? I just want to see Uncharted 4 win Game of the Year in 2016. Why has God abandoned us? Speaking of, let's talk about a winner, The Last of Us Part 2. That's it. Though I don't hate The Last of Us Part 2 as a lot of people do, what's been said about this game has already been said. Ghost of Tsushima was definitely the better game, while The Last of Us Part 2 was a better fit of pretentious rage. The thing is, I'm not mad that this won Game of the Year, I wasn't surprised that it did, but what did was the number of awards won. Game direction. Really? Really? Nothing screams the celebration of the best video games more than forced labor. Just imagine if there was an audience here, thank God. The thing is, a lot of the time, I don't think the Game Awards are really bad with a lot of their nominations. Sure, 2020 was dominated by Fake Deep the Game, but they aren't as egregious as the Grammys, though that could age poorly in a couple of years, who knows. I just think the quality of the show itself is offset by so many announcements that aren't noteworthy. What's 3 hours right now can easily be whittled down to just one if they cut the crap out. Seriously, I almost fell asleep watching the Game Awards 3 years in a row because it was that predictable. These two shows represent everything wrong with award shows. With the Grammys, the things that get awarded often suck, and with the Game Awards, the show just sucks. I just think in general, award shows are declining. It's always good that art is recognized for its greatness, but consumers of media are getting smarter, and the influx of information being fed to someone nowadays is immense. You don't need an award to validate your success anymore. My favorite albums and games of all time never even got a nominee. An award doesn't reflect on the quality of work anymore. There are thousands of quality things that these award shows don't tell you about. You shouldn't need to be spoon-fed an opinion, that's up for you to decide. Award shows are a decaying model done by corporations to sell you things. Nowadays, they are nothing more than a glorified commercial block. Wait, hey, they're gonna announce the winner! It's gonna be me! It's gonna be me!
And the winner, for the person who wears the most Drawn Watches award, is this stray dog.
What the fuck?